Thank you, Chief Secretary, Dr. Rushwai. Thank you, members of the Fourth Estate. Today, the 1st of April 2025, His Excellency the President, Dr. Edin Mnangagwa, chaired the 8th Cabinet meeting, and the following issues, among others, were considered and approved. Cabinet received an update on the preparations for the 2025 Independence Day celebrations and the Children's Party. Preparations for the 45th Independence Anniversary and the 2025 Children's Party have gathered momentum, and the nation is geared up for the celebrations. The main celebrations will be held on the 18th of April 2025 at Nemudzia Growth Point in Gokwe North District, the Midlands Province, whilst the Children's Party will be hosted by the First Family at Nyamroro High School on the 17th of April 2025, also in the Midlands Province. Contractors have accelerated works at the main arena, the Gokwe North Open Grounds, and key progress has been achieved in lawn planting, terracing, the construction of changing rooms, floodlights installation, and the construction of ablution facilities. The venue for the Children's Party at Nyamroro High School is undergoing vast transformation through the construction of 2 ablution facilities and 2 student hostels in terms of the main infrastructure, as in the blocks, both of which are almost complete. Regarding works at Nemudzia Government High School, the Gala site, construction of 1 ablution block, 2 classroom blocks, a domestic science laboratory and senior science laboratory have reached wall plate level, with roof installation being the next phase. Regarding the road rehabilitation of legacy projects, the government of Zimbabwe has adopted short and long-term plans for the Midlands Province in general and Gokwe districts in particular. Long-term interventions include the ongoing rehabilitation of roads and related infrastructure under the Emergency Road Rehabilitation Program. The short-term interventions include the regraveling and surfacing of major feeder roads to and from Nemudzia Growth Point for completion prior to the 17th of April 2025. A cumulative total of 129 boreholes have been drilled in Gokwe districts, with 7 boreholes having been drilled at the venue site. A total water storage capacity of 60,000 litres has been set aside for drinking water during the celebrations. Concerning health and wellness, the following services, among others, have been mobilized for the celebrations: 10 emergency health management service teams and infrastructure, 10 ambulances and air ambulance and emergency kits modality, a VIP ward, isolation center, and 16 telemedicine centers have been established. The construction of a mortuary and extension of a ward are already underway at Nemudzia Hospital. The 2025 Independence Flame route will pass through various centers in Mberengwa, Gweru, Kwekwe, and Skombela detention camp in Gokwe district until it reaches Nemudzia Growth Point. The Independence Flame will reach Mtapawo on the 10th of April 2025, where it will be lit by the Honorable Vice President, Dr. CGDN Chiwenga. Thereafter, it will proceed through all the Midlands districts until it reaches Skombela, which is a former restriction camp on the 17th of April 2025, where it will be received by the Honorable Vice President, retired Colonel KCD Mohadi. It will then proceed to its final destination at Nembudzia Growth Point. A total of 132 graves across hero shrines in the Midlands province are being adorned with concrete slabs, while the construction of a field museum at former Skombela restriction camp will be completed prior to the 17th of April 2025. Other places of the liberation struggle in terms of significance, such as Konmara and Mutapa Hall, have already received a facelift in terms of refurbishment. Eva Shangwe Cultural Village Legacy Project will be established in Gokwe North District in Nembudzia at the Growth Point for the 46th Independence celebrations. Cabinet considered and approved the Zimbabwe media policy. The objectives of the policy are to defend Zimbabwe's image, sovereignty and territorial integrity, to achieve a strong and converged digital economy, to promote the growth and development of a vibrant, diverse media industry in Zimbabwe, to transform Zimbabwe's media landscape through the development of modern, efficient and sustainable infrastructure, to promote professionalism and capacitate the industry to develop and enforce comprehensive codes of ethics, raising standards of media practices in Zimbabwe, to promote media viability and sustainability, to nurture and instill national values and ethics and citizenship, promoting a shared understanding of Zimbabwe's history, vision and developmental aspirations, to advance and protect Zimbabwe's national interests, promoting the country's social, economic, cultural and political well-being, to assert and maintain Zimbabwe's media sovereignty, ensuring the country's independence and the right to self-determination is well taken care of in terms of national philosophy, in terms of production, dissemination and regulation of media content, in order to foster a linguistically inclusive media landscape in Zimbabwe, where all officially recognized languages are valued, promoted and utilized to reach diverse audiences and communities, and to govern the whole sector, including internet-based broadcasting. One of the pillars is the sixth pillar of the policy, which is in terms of local content promotion, which addresses challenges such as funding constraints, limited producer capacity, the dominance of foreign content, and an inadequate regulatory framework. To promote local content and to counter foreign dominance, the policy maintains a 75% local content quota for all broadcasting licenses, except for specialized ones, which have a 50% quota. The policy also introduces incentives for local content production, the protection of intellectual property rights, and the enforcement of regulations limiting foreign content dominance. Additionally, the policy supports local cultural preservation, digital technology uptake, and initiatives, promoting employment, information dissemination, and access to information. Thematic working groups will be established to focus on specific policy pillars, while the ministry responsible for information, publicity, and broadcasting services will take the lead. On the legislative program, Cabinet considered and approved the accession to the protocol incorporating Article 3B(is) into the Convention on the International Civil Aviation Chicago Convention. The objective of the protocol incorporating the article into the Convention on the International Civil Aviation is to ensure the non-use of weapons against civil aviation aircraft in flight, so that in case of interception, the lives of persons on board and the safety of the aircraft must not be endangered. The benefits of acceding to the protocol include aviation safety and security through protection of lives, ensuring smooth aircraft operations, guaranteed prevention of unlawful interference, and maintaining public trust in the sector and airspace. By acceding to the protocol, Zimbabwe's legal framework will conform to the obligations of the Chicago Convention espoused by several progressive nations. Reports on the projects as at the 50th day of the 100-day cycle of 2025 under the digital economy pillar in terms of the National Development Strategy 1, the Ministry of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services highlighted the following achievements under its purview. The establishment of heritage-based educational radio channel in Ulawa Metropolitan Province has been completed. The installation of digital media asset management system has been completed, whilst the configuration of the system is underway. The installation works of the Garawa radio transmitter and an uninterrupted power supply integration and the upgrading of the Radio Zimbabwe FM transmitter are progressing well. Civil works for the construction of the 4 new radio studios at Montrose in Bulawayo Metropolitan Province are also in progress, while all required equipment for the studios has been procured and awaits installation. In terms of justice delivery system under the cross-cutting governance thematic area in terms of the National Development Strategy 1, the Ministry of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs achieved the following. The construction of the Mtawa New Magistrates Court has been completed and awaits commissioning. The construction of the superstructure to ring beam in terms of the other courts is progressing very well. The construction of the Kwekwe New Magistrates Court in Midlands Province and the construction of the superstructure to ring beam and ring beam concreting for the Cowdrey Park New Magistrates Court in Bulawayo are also progressing very well. The rehabilitation and reintegration of inmates through agriculture is ongoing. The production in terms of projects which were successful at Anju Prison Farm, Mazoe Prison Farm, Mutimurefu Prison Farm, and Urungwe Prison Farm is progressing satisfactorily. The rehabilitation and reintegration of inmates through capacitating the building brigades was successfully undertaken by carrying out construction works at Anju Prison Farm, Gwanda Prison Farm, Bike Bridge Prison Farm, and Mutare Prison Farm. The rehabilitation and reintegration of inmates through McDonald's Bricks Inmates Employment Program was also successful, with 5 ex-inmates having secured permanent employment at McDonald's Bricks. Under the Human Capital Development pillar in terms of the National Development Strategy 1, the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education highlighted the following achievements: the registration of 57 schools across the country, the construction of a classroom block at E.D. Mnangagwa Secondary School in Mutoko, Mashonaland East Province is at 80% in terms of completion. The construction of a new school, the Gideon's Secondary School in Gutu, Mashingo Province, is at 82% in terms of completion, whilst the construction of a block at a new school, which is the Tamuka B Satellite in Bindura, Mashonaland Central Province, has been completed. The construction of 10 classroom double-story blocks including a computer laboratory at Harare High School in Mbare, Harare Metropolitan Province has been completed, whilst the construction of a double-story and computer laboratory at Gangarawe Primary School in Urungwe, Mashonaland West Province is ongoing. The construction of a 2-story classroom block at Karoi Junior in Urungwe, Mashonaland West Province is nearing completion, whilst the construction works to upgrade the following schools are at an advanced stage, which is Runyararo Adventist in Mashingo Province, Sinola Primary in Makonde, Mashonaland West, Wozhi Primary, ECD Center in Bikita, Koban Global Primary in Gweru, Mambo Juku Secondary School in Murewa in Mashonaland East, Seketu High in Chitungwiza in the Harare Metropolitan Province, Rusitu High in Chimaniman in Manicaland Province, and St. Paul's High in Gokwe South, the Midlands Province. The construction works in terms of sustainable and affordable boarding facilities are also nearing completion at the following schools: Progress College in Gweru, Midlands Province, Gumbondrandha in Wedza, Mashonaland East Province, Tafira High School in Murombedzi, Mashonaland West Province, Howard Secondary in Mazowe, Mashonaland Central Province, Donza Secondary in Kwekwe, Midlands Province, and St. Mary's in Wedza, Mashonaland East Province. In terms of the youth, sport and culture pillar of the National Development Strategy 1, the Ministry of Sport, Recreation, Arts and Culture highlighted the following achievements: the completion of the construction of a multi-purpose court at Karigamombe that will accommodate 3 sports disciplines. Work is in progress to install bucket seats as part of the refurbishment of the National Sports Stadium in Harare Metropolitan Province, with the VIP area and bays 19, 20 and 21 having been installed. The construction of Nembudzia Stadium in Gokwe, Midlands Province is progressing well. Progress towards the completion of the gym facility in Harare Metropolitan Province has reached 80% in terms of completion, with commissioning of the facility expected to be done in April. The translation of a summary version of the cultural heritage capacity building into 5 languages, namely Venda, Sutu, Tonga, Ndau and Sign Language, has been completed, and the projects await printing and production of booklets. Works on the establishment of Victoria Falls Gallery and the development of the National Arts Council of Zimbabwe digital registration platform are ongoing. Cabinet also received a report on the 2nd virtual joint East African Community Southern Africa Development Community Summit of Heads of State and Government. Cabinet received an update on the virtual joint East African Community SADC Summit of Heads of State and Government held on the 24th of March 2025. The joint summit was co-chaired by His Excellency the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, who is also the Chairman of SADC, Dr. Idi Mnangagwa, and His Excellency Dr. William Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya, and the Chairperson of the East African Community. The joint summit adopted the report of the joint EAC SADC ministerial meeting held on the 17th of March 2025 in Harare, Zimbabwe. The report contained, among others, a detailed roadmap outlining the short-term, medium and long-term activities to be jointly implemented for the establishment of sustainable peace in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. The joint summit suggested the following 5 facilitators to lead the mediation process to find lasting peace in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, who is the former president of Kenya, also former president of the Republic of South Africa, former president Halim Mohammed, Sahle Zwede, former president of Ethiopia, former president of the Federal Republic of Namibia, former president Olusegun Obasanjo, and former president of the Central African Republic, Catherine Panza. Cabinet noted and appreciated the peace and tranquility that continues to exist in our country after Zimbabweans rejected the illegal cyber terrorists' attempts to disrupt development. We fully appreciate Zimbabweans' support for the government led by His Excellency the President Dr. Edin Mnangagwa, because the illegal activities did not materialize. All Zimbabweans chose development. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable.
I will refer the second question to the Minister of Primary and Secondary Education, Honorable Moyo. Then I will tackle the other 2 questions.
Thank you very much. I want to appreciate the question asked by Mr. Chingwere on the impact of the massive projects that we are doing in the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education, as it concerns issues to do with reducing the school deficit, enrollment, and many other issues. We really want to appreciate the massive projects that are being done under the absolute leadership of His Excellency the President, Comrade Dr. Edin Mnangagwa, in ensuring that we provide quality, equitable, relevant, and inclusive education so that no one will be left behind. And we are embarking on several projects which include construction of new schools, refurbishment of classroom blocks. We are also converting classrooms into laboratories and building new laboratories as we attempt to ensure that we provide the much needed STEM disciplines. The impact is prodigious. We are anticipating that before the end of the year, the number of schools that we intend to construct for 2025, we envisage, we have projected to construct not less than 150 new schools and not less than 300 new classroom blocks. And the impact is that the deficit will be less than 2,000. As you are aware, 3 years ago we had a deficit of 3,000 schools. Now we have a deficit of around 2,300 new schools. As we build new schools, we are also reducing the traveling distance that learners walk or travel to school, to their nearest school, which should be in line with the International Convention, which states that learners should not walk long distances, and the distance should not exceed 5 kilometers. And I'm very happy with the progress that we are doing in meeting our targets for the first 100 days. And in terms of teacher-people ratio, we anticipate that with the development of new schools, we are also going to recruit new teachers that will impact positively in terms of reducing the teacher-people ratio to levels that are in line with the expectations of the heritage-based curriculum. Thank you.
Or by cabinet in terms of the first integrated media policy in our country, which has got a very clear vision and mission. But what is of great importance is that this policy will run for 5 years, from 2025 to 2030. That's the time frame I'm sure that you wanted to know about. Then it has got the policy objectives, which is also seeks to professionalize the media industry. But 6 critical pillars, which are very important for the media industry, which is the digital transformation, which you also highlighted. That in terms of the law, the broadcasting services amendment that are going through parliamentary processes currently, we've also factored in internet-based broadcasting services, also including podcasts in terms of the governance architecture. Because the media industry is transformed totally from the print media industry with a daily circulation of more than 100,000 for the entire sector on a daily basis, now to less than 5,000 copies in terms of circulation for the whole media industry. So what we seek to do is to identify one of the key pillars, which is the digital transformation of the media industry, in order to ensure that it becomes sustainable and it also aligns with the current trends. Then the other pillar is the media development and capacity building, which is also taken care of in terms of the amendments that we are implementing in terms of the Zimbabwe Media Commission Act, which seeks to capacitate media practitioners with the requisite skills, with the ethics and the ethos of the industry in terms of the codes of conduct. So that is already taking place in terms of human capital development. And at the same time, the other pillar is the economic sustainability pillar, which is very key, as you highlighted, that the media, the legacy media, needs to totally transform. In that, we need to work together with stakeholders and big tech companies in order for us to be able to monetize our content in Zimbabwe, both for the media industry and also for the content creators, in order to ensure that there is sustainability. So we believe that if we implement these 6 pillars, we are in a position to be able to achieve media sovereignty for us as a country. For media sovereignty is very key in terms of nation building. We also have the access to information, which is also supported by the Freedom of Information Act and also Section 61 and Section 62 of the Constitution in terms of freedom of information and also the freedom of the media, and also the support that is guaranteed in terms of the constitutional obligation in terms of access to information to all government structures. Then of great importance also is the local content promotion. The media also represents, the media is a mirror to our society about what actually takes place in our country. So the local content pillar will take care of all the content that is generated in our country. It will also take care of the monetization of the content and also heritage-based broadcasting services and also the inclusivity. So the policy implementation modality, obviously His Excellency the President, Dr. Idi Mnangagwa, officially launched this policy. But the implementation is now. We also have an implementation framework which includes an interministerial committee which will be able to superintend over the coordination of the policy. So the policy implementation is now, since it's approved. So the steps, the rest of the steps will take place as we journey towards an upper middle income society with an informed, knowledgeable society which contributes to nation building. So I'm sure I've responded to your question that the policy implementation is now. Then the second issue about the National Sports Stadium, we have highlighted that the gym facilities have been finalized. This is part of the National Sports Stadium capacitation in terms of equipment and also in terms of the refurbishment that has been taking place at the National Sports Stadium. We've also highlighted that the installation is ongoing with Block 19, 20 and 21 having been completed. This is progress that has been registered in terms of the Ministry of Sports. And at the same time, I want to assure you that before year end, we believe that this stadium will have been completed in terms of the renovations that are taking place, including the bucket seats that are ongoing in terms of installation. And we'll be in a position as a country to be able to have our games in Zimbabwe. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Chief Secretary, I will refer the first question to Honorable Mvira to respond, and I will take the second one.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair, and I wish to thank Wallace for the question. As you know that the EAC, the East African Community and SADC are embarking on an innovative process where for the first time 2 regional blocks are meeting to make sure that there is peace in the eastern part of the DRC, and the process has been acknowledged and upheld by the African Union. The process has been acknowledged and upheld by the UN Security Council. So we are at the stage now where there is appointment of facilitators to move forward the process of facilitation among the state and non-state actors who are involved or who are basically have a share in the conflict in the eastern part of the DRC. And as you know, that their excellencies, members of the double troika of SADC, chaired by His Excellency President E.D. Mnangagwa, and the East African Community, headed by His Excellency Ruto, met virtually on Monday of the 24th with 2 agenda items. The first one was to consider the report that was done by ministers which was relating to the ministers' meeting, which we co-chaired with the Foreign Minister of Kenya, me as the chairperson of the SADC Council of Ministers, and the president, the Minister of Kenya, Foreign Minister, is chair of the East African Community. And this was approved. It was held in Harare, as you would know. But the second one which you are asking about is the issue of facilitators. And in this issue of facilitators, there were suggested names that were suggested by their excellencies in the meeting. And these facilitators have to be appointed, which means the letters of appointment were sent to them. They have to respond, affirming that they are available. And the terms of references that are being developed by SADC and EAC, and these terms of reference are about to be finished. And there is also a framework document that is going to be produced, joining the Luanda and the Naireb processes. As you know, the Luanda process is the one that is trying to mediate between DRC and Rwanda as states, and the Nairobi process is the one that is trying to bring the Congolese together, the warring Congolese people together. So these are going to be merged and then be led by the facilitation teams, or the facilitation team that has been suggested, and this has to happen soon. And the completion of the process was supposed to be in 7 days, the completion of the process of doing this, and the 7th day is today. Their excellencies will definitely meet very soon with the facilitators in order to brief them on the task ahead, brief them on the expectation, which is the terms of reference, brief them on the framework, that is the Luanda and Nairobi process framework, but at the same time involve the AU, the African Union, the AUC, in that process. So all these preparations are being met, and we expect that meeting to occur very soon, having fulfilled these conditions precedent that I've talked about, the submission of the letters appointing the facilitators, the response of those facilitators, the completion of the framework document joining the Luanda and the Nairobi process, as well as the terms of reference that are required for that meeting to take place. So it's going to happen very soon, and very soon means very soon. I thank you.
The failure in terms of what the cyber terrorists had planned, which did not materialize yesterday, is a clear demonstration that Zimbabweans fully support the government that they elected as an NPF government, which is led by His Excellency the President, Dr. Idi Naka. And we still fully appreciate the peace and tranquility that continues to exist in our country. Yes, these cyber terrorists were led by one, a Mr. Geza, who is a liberation war mistake with a lot of delusional hallucinations, in that he actually believed that he could create an uprising in our country, which is a clear misdirection of ambition. And you are here, you can witness that the peace and tranquility continues to exist in our country. Zimbabweans have a shared responsibility in order to achieve Vision 2030, which Vision 2030 seeks to achieve an upper middle income society by the year 2030. We are past that insightful alarmist who is delusional, but of course the security sector is closing in order to deal with the treasonous nature of his activities. Thank you so much.